Steelers-Tyreek Hill trade rumors get major update. Few would argue that Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill is a bit of a lightning rod. He's also one of the top wideouts in the NFL when he's at the top of his game, which is why despite the headache Hill can be off the field, he's still a highly coveted trade target if the Dolphins decide to move him. Nearly 2 weeks ago, Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio reported the Pittsburgh Steelers and Kansas City Chiefs were two of the frontrunners to acquire Hill should he become available. Now, as the Dolphins sit at 0-3 and the likelihood the 8-time Pro Bowler gets traded increases as the losses pile up, Florio claims one of those two teams may be out of the Hill sweepstakes. The Steelers have lost interest, Florio wrote. As one source recently explained it, the Steelers are concerned that the new personal conduct policy investigation could result in a suspension. Through 3 games, Hill has had 1 good game, 6 receptions, 109 yards, sandwiched around 2 average ones, yet he's 6th in the NFL in receiving yards, 198, and tied for 6th in receptions, 15. Hill would instantly give the Steelers offense a shot in the arm. Outside of 2-time Pro Bowler DK Metcalf, Pittsburgh lacks any true playmakers with game-breaking potential. Having Hill and Metcalf split out wide would give quarterback Aaron Rodgers one of the best 1-2 punches at WR that he's had in his career. Whether Hill is traded depends on whether Miami's record is closer to 0-9 than 6-3 when their Week 9 game against the Ravens ends, Florio added. By then, maybe the Steelers will decide that Hill is safe from a suspension for the balance of the season. Of course, if the Steelers are closer to 1-7 than 7-1 when the trade deadline arrives, it may not matter. The Pittsburgh Steelers have never been shy about making bold moves. From drafting Ben Roethlisberger to signing key free agents during their Super Bowl runs, the franchise has always walked the fine line between tradition and innovation. But when the latest NFL chatter suggested that Tyreek Hill, the Miami Dolphins' electrifying receiver, might be in play, Pittsburgh became the unexpected epicenter of football's newest obsession. Could the fastest man in the NFL really end up in black and gold? At first, it sounded like a pipe dream. Hill has been the centerpiece of Mike McDaniel's lightning-fast Dolphins offense, a walking highlight reel capable of flipping the script of a game in one snap. Yet, NFL insiders whispered that the Dolphins' salary cap gymnastics were starting to strain, and difficult decisions might be looming. Suddenly, Hill's name was on the board, and the Steelers, always lurking for that one piece to push them over the top, entered the conversation. The first rumblings. The first spark came from a national reporter hinting that an AFC North team with a rich history had called Miami to inquire about Hill's availability. Within hours, Pittsburgh talk radio lit up like a Christmas tree. Callers debated trade packages, while Twitter exploded with photoshopped images of Hill in a Steelers helmet, grinning under that iconic gold stripe. "Can you imagine Tyreek streaking down Heinz Field's sideline?" one fan tweeted. "Kenny Pickett won't even need accuracy. Just throw it deep and let Cheetah hunt." Of course, skeptics were quick to slam the brakes. The Steelers don't mortgage the future, analysts said. They build through the draft. But Steelers fans, who have endured years of watching their rivals stockpile offensive weapons, weren't ready to let go of the fantasy. After all, Pittsburgh's defense was championship caliber. What they lacked was a true game-breaking receiver, the kind who changes defensive schemes the moment he steps on the field. The major update. Then came the update that sent the rumor mill into overdrive. Miami was, in fact, listening to calls. Not actively shopping Hill, but listening. The Dolphins were juggling a massive payroll, trying to keep both Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Waddle happy, while also maintaining a competitive roster on both sides of the ball. If a team offered enough draft capital, Hill might just be pried away. Pittsburgh insiders quickly confirmed that the Steelers had genuine interest. The words alone were enough to ignite fireworks across western Pennsylvania. What a Steelers offense could look like. Imagine this: Tyreek Hill lining up opposite George Pickens. Defenses already respect Pickens' contested catchability, but now they'd also have to worry about the league's most feared deep threat blowing past safeties. Deontay Johnson in the slot would feast on mismatches, while tight end Pat Freiermuth roamed the middle. Suddenly, Kenny Pickett's job would become a lot easier. Offensive coordinator Arthur Smith, known for his creative run schemes, could draw up play-action bombs that would make defensive coordinators sweat bullets. Najee Harris and Jalen Warren would face lighter boxes, as defenses shaded deep safeties to account for Hill's speed. It wouldn't just be an upgrade, It would be a transformation. The cost of speed. But at what cost? That's the million-dollar, or perhaps multi-million-dollar question. Miami wouldn't just give away Hill. A proven all-pro in his prime demands a king's ransom. Speculation swirled about the potential trade package. 2 first-round picks plus a player. A first, second, and third-round pick over multiple years. Or even a blockbuster swap involving one of Pittsburgh's young stars. Would the Steelers really part with that much draft capital? Historically, Pittsburgh values draft picks like gold bars. But as some fans pointed out, how often do you get a chance to land a once-in-a-generation receiver who can instantly tilt the balance of the AFC North? Fan reactions. Hope meets hesitation. Steelers Nation was split. Some dreamed of Hill torching Ravens' corners and burning Bengals' safeties, the kind of playmaker who could make Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson nervous. Others worried about the long-term implications. Tyreek is amazing, but this isn't Madden, one fan wrote. 2 first-rounders? We need those for the O-line. Still, the idea of pairing Hill with Mike Tomlin's leadership felt tantalizing. Tomlin has always thrived at managing big personalities, and many believed he could bring out the best in Hill both on and off the field. What it means for the NFL. If such a trade happened, it would reshape the AFC landscape overnight. The Steelers, who have been hovering just outside contender status, would instantly vault into the conversation as a legitimate Super Bowl threat. Meanwhile, the Dolphins would likely reinvest their haul into bolstering their defense or preparing for Tua's mega extension. Losing Hill would sting, but Miami's philosophy under McDaniel has always been adaptability. With Waddle still in the fold, they'd remain dangerous. For the league as a whole, the move would be seismic. The AFC already feels like a powder keg of talent, and inserting Hill into the Steelers' arsenal would make every Steelers-Bengals, Steelers-Ravens, and Steelers-Browns matchup must-see TV. Reality check. Of course, updates don't equal inevitability. The odds remain slim that Hill actually dons the black and gold. But in the NFL, never say never is a rule for a reason. In 2022, few thought Tyreek Hill would leave Kansas City. Yet, in a matter of days, he was gone, traded to Miami in one of the most shocking deals of the decade. Could history repeat itself?